Amanda! No. You guys have to say away too. Let's try that again. Amanda! Away. That's pretty good. Well, I'm not an African American like Dr. King. I am an African like Nelson Mandela. Dr. King and Nelson Mandela changed the world through nonviolence, compassion, and love. And today, I'll reflect on Dr. King and Nelson Mandela's legacy and how their work changed our world today. Amongst the impossible challenges Dr. King faced, one of the tough ones was when people became afraid to march because they were afraid they will be criticized, afraid they will lose popularity, afraid to stand up for what was right. Before Dr. King was killed, he said, "A man who won't die for something is not fit to live." I believe, like you who march today, that we should have a reason to live. We should stand up for the truth. We should stand up for what is right, and we should stand up for equality, and we should be prepared to sacrifice in order to achieve them. Dr. King, with many others, gave their life for that cause. When Nelson Mandela got out of jail after 27 years, he was a hero amongst the many South African people. His friends and family put pressure on him, telling him to take revenge against the white people for putting him in isolation for those 27 years. However, because Nelson Mandela believed in equality and forgiveness, Nelson Mandela chose unity instead of separation. He chose compassion instead of hatred. Instead of punishment, he chose forgiveness. Because of what Dr. King and Nelson Mandela achieved, I was able to flee the Democratic Republic of Congo and find refuge in South Africa. Democratic Republic of Congo was recruiting young kids to join the child soldier. My dad is a pastor, like Dr. King. He influenced many people. My dad was able to convince a number of families not to let their kids join the child soldier. And because of that, my family was seen as traitors. The rebel wanted to capture us, and therefore, we had to flee the Democratic Republic of Congo. If South Africa was not integrated by the work of Nelson Mandela, I wouldn't have been here today. My family would have been captured by the rebel. They would have been killed. I would have joined the child soldier, or I would have been killed myself. However, once in South Africa, things were not perfect. We still faced a number of challenges. One of them was xenophobia. The South African people were not very pleased with foreigners coming to their country because foreigners like us took the job, attended their school, and took their scholarships. Mostly black South Africans were very upset about that. Therefore, they wanted to kick all the foreigners out of their country. They had to mistreat them, from name calling to burning their belongings and beating them to death. It was a difficult time for foreigners in South Africa. However, I got lucky enough to attend one of the best integrated high schools in South Africa, where I learned about those two great leaders from two different nations with one goal of racial equality: Nelson Mandela and Dr. King. Dr. King put his life at risk just so that we all can be treated equally, regardless of our color of our skin, gender, or religion. Dr. King marched from state to state for that cause. He dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings. And he later died for that cause. So was Nelson Mandela, a man who fought against the white domination and the black domination during the apartheid in South Africa. He gave up 27 years of his life just so that you and me can live in a world where we are all treated equally, regardless of our race, gender, or religion, just like Dr. King. These two great leaders showed us how we meant to live our life by putting others first before ourselves. They made huge sacrifices so that you and I today can live in a world where we are not judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our characters. Dr. King and Nelson Mandela might have left our world today, but they left behind a legacy for us all. And that legacy is not only courage. That legacy is not only forgiveness. That legacy is not only compassion. That legacy is not only selflessness and love, but power. Power to change wrong from right. Power to stand up for the weak. Power to help those in need. Power to persevere. And power to keep marching. To all who are present, to all who are listening, especially to all who are Facebooking, tweeting, and Snapchatting, let us not end this march here. Let us keep marching wherever we go, in whatever we do. Because of Dr. King, and because of Nelson Mandela, and because we care. And we will continue to care and continue to march at school, at work, with friends and family. We will show respect, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, and love. Just like Mother Teresa said, not all of us can do great things, but we all can do small things with great love. Dr. King put it this way. He said, we must say, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I believe no matter what burdens daily life might bring, we must continue to march with love. Because this is the power you have. This is the power we all have. Nelson Mandela had a chant. He says, Amanda, and the crowd will reply, away to. Amanda means power. Away to means it's ours. And because you guys are here today, and because you guys marched, and because we have the power, we all gonna stand and chant the Mandela chant, because the power is ours. Amanda! 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 Ladies and gentlemen, the power is yours. Thank you.